guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, as you can see from the title, I'm gonna do a get ready with me and talk about anxiety and depression. But just so we get this clear from the beginning, I am not a makeup artist. This is just what works for me. Eyebrows are already done. I'll start off with the Norvina palette. This is volume 2. But yeah, so my anxiety started about 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Freshman in college. New relationship, and it was kind of something I really didn't know about, so I thought I was like dying. I thought there was so much wrong with me. Like, I really didn't know what was going on with me. They didn't really know what was going on with me, which was even more scarier. But then I figured out and learned that it was just anxiety, and I've been through a lot of stuff. My mom passing away when I was in 9th grade and me never dealing with it, and a new relationship, my first relationship ever, and nobody really understood me or what I was going through, so that's when the depression had kicked in. My relationship ended up getting worse and worse, so that was a dub. So that was over with. My anxiety actually got like better, way better, for a little bit. In the beginning I tried Xanax and I didn't really like the idea of taking Xanax, so I stopped. A few years later I tried CBD oil, which it was all good in the beginning, like really good in the beginning, until it wasn't. Everything works different for everyone, honestly. Like, what works for me may not work for you, but it's worth a try. Don't knock it till you try it, honestly. But my issues with my anxiety is that nobody ever really listened to me, and I always felt alone. I felt like nobody actually cared to listen. Being in college, starting to do everything on my own, it was just like a lot of pressure. And then fast forward, I think it was my second year of college, I lost my sister, and that is still to this day a little bit crazy for me because I was the one who realized it, and that night just like constant plays over and over, and I didn't want to deal with it. So at that point my anxiety had got like 10 times worse, like so bad, and I was in the hospital like every day. If you know about anxiety, you know, you go to the hospital, it's just like, oh, just breathe. Oh, they don't care. Like, if you go in there and tell them that you're having a heart attack, it's like, okay, oh my god, and then you go, I just think it's my anxiety. It's just like, oh, you'll be okay, you just gotta see a therapist. But I learned eventually to just deal with it on my own. Still to this day, it's hard to control, really hard to control, but it works for me. I've learned and figured out things that work for me. I've learned not to put myself in those kind of situations where my anxiety will be at risk, or my mental health in general, because I know that that was a really dark place when I didn't even want to be here half the time, but I had to figure it out and deal with it because there's more to life than that. And I figured I owed my mom and my sister that. So personally, I think like anyone who's dealing with anxiety is to just accept you for you. Accept everything that you have gone through. Accept that you have a mental issue, and it's life. It's literally life, and you just have to figure out what works for you. You don't need people that don't care or think, oh, just get over it, because I'm pretty sure if we could get over it that we would we not? Same with depression. Like, it can really change you into a whole different person. But me dealing with it, I have grown a lot, and I'm kind of thankful for it, because I don't think I would be like the woman or person that I am today without it. Dealing with anxiety and depression, it's not easy, like, at all. Like, for no one. It's not easy, and I don't think anybody should think that it is, or that they're alone, because there are people out there who are dealing with it too, and you're not the only one. But everybody's depression and anxiety come from different things. Mine come from stress and losing people close to me and not dealing with it, while others people's come from, like, their childhood and trauma they went through because of that. And it doesn't always end the same for some people. Some people's end in addiction, and that they just can't deal with it anymore. And it's really unfortunate, but you don't have to be that person. There are ways, you just have to, it's really a battle versus your mind, and you just gotta be stronger than your mind sometimes. And as for like the people that know people that are struggling with anxiety, my advice to you would be, don't say just get over it. Try to be a person that is willing to help, because we already feel alone, so, and crazy. So if you know someone's struggling with it, just try to be there for them. Even if you don't understand, try to understand. Learn to understand them. Don't say, oh, medication is the answer. It's not for everybody. It's really not. For me, it wasn't, and I had to go years with just dealing with it on my own, because I felt like nobody else cared to help me, and that was alright. Now I've learned and I accepted that. Like, some people really don't get it unless they really go through it, and you can't expect somebody to want to learn. And if people are just being negative and not wanting to help you, then they don't need to be in your life. Maybe they're one of the reasons why you have anxiety. Negative energy and anxiety and depression don't go together. So you have to literally change your life for the better for you, so you can grow and be the person, the woman, the man that you want to be. But you got to be willing to want to grow and change. Here it goes. Tart. You can't force people to understand. And it takes time. It really takes time. With me, I put myself in too many bad situations with people that didn't give a crap about my anxiety or my mental health, or didn't take mental health serious. And that's the problem with the world nowadays, is that a lot of people don't take mental health serious. And that's why there's a lot of deaths because of it, and addiction, and people don't realize that. It is something that can be dealt with if people actually wanted to help. Like, making people feel crazy because they can't control their mind is crazy to me, which is why I'm also a psychology major, because I feel like I want to be a therapist and I want to be able to help. Speaking of therapists, like me personally, I've seen one. I think it's more of like a trial and error thing, but that's something I really genuinely feel like you shouldn't knock it until you try it. But it's really a trial and error process, because you have to find the right therapist for you. A lot of people that were totally against it, but now they love it. They are obsessed with it. I used to work at a rehab. A lot of my clients, most of their issues were because of anxiety and depression, and that's the only way they felt like they could deal with it. Honestly, that's just, it's life. And all you can do is try to progress and move forward because of it. Using these lashes. but I struggled for years, but that's because I had trouble just accepting the fact that I had anxiety. I didn't want to accept it. I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, I'm alright. You're lying. I don't have issues. Knowing I just lost my sister and my mom, but I'm saying I don't have issues, and I just got out of a relationship that I was getting cheated on, and it's okay to ask for help. Some people think because people don't know about anxiety that, or they don't take anxiety serious, that they can't ask for help. Asking for help is what's gonna help you, literally. Like, that's how bad it was. I was stuck in the house. I didn't want to do anything. Like, I couldn't even ride in a car because I got anxiety. How isn't mental health a disease? It's like cancer. We can't help it. We can't control it. Like, it does what it does. People actually suffer from like clinical depression and all this other stuff. But honestly, I'm thankful for all of this. I'm thankful for I was a person, like, I always kept things to myself. Nobody knew what I was going through. I would cry all the time about my mom, about my sister, and only a few people do that though. Now I understand, and now that I'm like more open with talking about my feelings, it's helped all of us, honestly. I mean, I'm not an expert on this stuff or anything, but it's something I do care about a lot. I'm also using the Fenty setting powder. See? Fenty. I know a lot of people who like used to like not understand that I was going through anxiety, then they started going through their own issues, and they're like, oh my god, now I know what you meant, like, now I know what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, so you know I'm not crazy. Oh, okay, thanks, sis. Now I know I'm not crazy. Honestly, continue to talk about it and work with people who deal with this kind of stuff, because this is what I want to do. If I would have never went through this, I felt like I would have never had a major or cared for college or to do anything. So I'm kind of thankful. Add some setting spray, morphine. Well, that's all I have to say. And the shirt I have on today, guys, Risk Takers. This is my brother's brand, so I will also link that down below so you can get your shirts. Hey. But thank you guys for watching. I hope I helped someone out or open somebody's eyes on anxiety if they know somebody dealing with it. And I hope you continue to work towards your anxiety. And it's all about self-care and making yourself better. It all starts with you, your mental. You gotta take care of yourself physically, mentally. But yeah, just make sure you're okay before you make sure everybody else is okay, because that's where your anxiety starts. It always starts with you, the battle versus your brain. It's just like, if this ain't right, then what is right? Nothing. You're gonna go crazy. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and can't wait to see you next video. Bye.